Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy French here. Welcome back to the French-Hoock connection. Unfortunately, Andrew could not be with us for this video on Zoom, but I have a surprise for you guys today. Ladies and gentlemen, live in studio, please welcome my friend and co-host, Andrew Hook.
All right. What's up, guys?
What's up, guy?
What's up, guy?
All right, guys, so today we're doing...
Psych.
Get roasted. So today we're doing another weekend review. We did this last week, and you guys absolutely loved it. So we have another 6 games to burn through. We have the end of the series against Tampa Bay, and then we have the 3-game series against the Angels. So for all you guys that couldn't watch, stay tuned because we're going to burn through all these games. I'm going to tell you guys what happened. Andrew's going to put his takes in. Just going to kind of talk about it, go for around an hour, and then we'll call it quits.
Sounds good.
All right, dude.
All right.
So, game 2 against Tampa Bay. The Yankees ended up winning that game 2-0. It was our 6th shutout of the season. It was the first time the Yankees actually shut down our opponent in back-to-back games since last season against the Houston Astros, which is pretty cool. Jameson Taillon was the pitcher. He went 8 innings deep, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walk, which was great. Jeffrey Springs, he got the loss with 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned, 6 strikeouts, and no walks. Clay Holmes got the save, the 1-inning save.
My homie.
My homie.
My homie.
With no hits, 2 strikeouts, no walks. He hasn't given up a single run in his past 23 appearances. More on that later. And then for Tampa Bay, Jalen Beeks pitched 2.1 innings, just gave up 1 hit, no earned, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. And also Matt Whistler pitched 0.2 innings and a strikeout. So hitting-wise, for the Yankees, Gleyber Torres, he went 1 for 4 with a solo home run off of Springs. And then Matt Carpenter also had a solo home run off of Springs, and those were the only 2 runs for the Yankees. That was Matt Carpenter's actually his first home run as a Yankee, which is pretty cool. Was that his first game or second game?
That was his second game.
It was his second game.
Because he came in right at the Rays game.
That's
the
right.
Rays series, yeah.
The game that we had before he came in.
Exactly, yeah.
So next up, Joey Gallo, Kyle Higashioka, IKF, and Andujar each had a hit. And then for the Rays, Randy Arozarena went 1 for 3 with a single. Manuel Margot went 1 for 3 with a double. He has a 13-game hitting streak. But outside of that, the game was pretty boring. Just Jameson Taillon dominance. Again, more on that later. So that's pretty much going to do it for the first game that we're going to burn through today. The Yankees ended up winning 2-0. Let's go to Drew's News, live in person.
Don't ever say that again. I feel like we said that
We're going to say this every time. I'm going to keep doing it.
I hate
It's going to
that.
catch on.
It's very corny, and it's very... But, no, J-Mo, when I actually got a chance to watch the game when it happened. J-Mo had his stuff that day. Like, he was on point. The control, the stuff. I mean, he's got one of the more nastier repertoires in the game with his devastating fastball cutter combo.
The cutter was developed this year, too.
It was developed.
Matt Blake gave him the cutter this year.
I know.
A lot of guys on the
roster.
roster.
A lot of them, yeah. But, like, thing with J-Mo is that now he's starting to become a little bit more well-known outside of him going into the Yankees and then just, like, you know, being part of the rotation. He's one of, like, the 5-headed monsters in that ridiculously nasty rotation that they got right now. Very excited to watch him play. More on that later because J-Mo did something pretty special last night. I really want to talk about that. But
in due time, my friend, we will get there.
In due time. And then Clay Holmes, I mean, what more can you say about the guy that hasn't been said? I mean, the guy has the nastiest sinker cutter slider combo in the league, I think, in my own opinion. The
wiffle ball stuff.
The wiffle ball crap. Like, it's just crazy because his sinker's just like, boom. 19, 20-inch of break.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
It is really, really ridiculous.
Him and Miguel Castro also has a ridiculous sinker, but his is more because of his release point, but Holmes is just straight break.
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me about Holmes is that he had Tommy John surgery, and he's still throwing that ridiculous pitch.
Right.
What was he throwing before Tommy John surgery? Like,
I think he was still a sinker ball pitcher, but it's like not like that,
Like
man.
he got better after Tommy John surgery, and that rarely happens. I feel like.
No, it's actually common more than you think. Like high school pitchers, they do get Tommy John, so they're they got like that extra stretch on their ligament. That's why like guys get Tommy John is so. I mean, yeah, part of it too is that you get torn up over there, but a lot of if you ever see like high school pitchers get it, and that's because they want to raise their stock for of getting the chance of being in the MLB, because what you're doing is you're basically redoing your mechanics on your arm, so that way you can adjust to like I can have a little bit more stretch, or I can change up like the basic core of my the way I release my pitches and all that.
Yeah.
So it's actually more common than you think of getting better after getting TJ.
It's like that movie Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Henry Rowan Gardner. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for Game 2.
Pretty much.
Of the Tampa Bay series. So we're moving on to Game 3, Yankees versus Tampa Bay. Yankees unfortunately ended up losing that game 3-1. This was when DJ LeMahieu returned to the lineup after being day-to-day with a wrist injury, so that was pretty nice to see.
The machine.
This game was very, very weird. I watched it. One of the few games that I actually watched of this past week, outside of just like highlights. Garrett Cole on the bump, 6 innings deep, just 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts. His last start was incredible, but it was weird. He gave up like 4 or 5 earned runs.
Was
it 4 or 5?
I think it was 5.
Yeah, I think it was 5, but he also had 12 strikeouts or something like that. So it was crazy. This was another weird one.
Another one.
First back-to-back starts with 10 strikeouts since July against the Astros and the Red Sox last season, which was nice. He had a shutout through 5 2/3. He had a matchup against G-Man Choi, who has absolutely destroyed Cole over his career. 571 batting average, 2.095 OPS, going into the game with 13 homers and 14 at-bats. And Cole struck him out twice and walked him, but the walk was key because it was a horrible call.
It was.
It was clearly a strike. There was 2 outs. It would have ended the inning. And then shortly after that, Cole had lost his cool.
Yeah.
And ended up giving 2 runs, and it was a 2-1 ball game right after that. And Cole was pulled after he got that final out. He had 105 pitches, but what a way to end a dominant pitching performance like that on a terrible umpire call.
I know.
I mean, how many times does this need to happen before we do something about it?
I mean, we could talk about robotic umps, but is that going to be efficient It's controversial. I mean, are we really going to get yeah, maybe like the strike zone might be consistent more, but like honestly, I think it's just part of the game, but like
it is part of the game, but when you're talking, a situation like that, I mean that pitch was not even close to being a ball.
No.
Like that was clearly in the upper part of the zone.
Yeah, like right here.
Yeah. it was just below the nips, like just on the outside corner. It was a great pitch. Didn't get the call, and then the wheels came off from there.
Could have been his 3rd K against G-Man, too.
Yep, it would have been his 3rd K against G-Man, which would have been huge for his ego. But I think Cole still got a chip on his shoulder, even after that loss.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's never happy.
No, he's never satisfied.
He's like Mad Bum in a sense, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Very fiery guy.
Mm-hmm.
So Corey Kluber pitched for the Rays that day. He went 6 deep, 3 hits, 1 earned run. He had 5 strikeouts, no walks. He had a pretty good outing.
Oh, yeah.
The Rays bullpen consisted of J.P. Fireeisen, who got the win, Jason Adams, and Colin Poche, who got the save. They combined for 3 innings. He gave up 1 hit, no walks, and 4 strikeouts in 3 innings of work. Absolutely dominant, especially after Cole gave up that run. You would hope we could get something going, but just 1 hit to show for it, no walks.
Right.
It's not going to get it done.
No, definitely not.
For the Yankees, Lucas Ludige, he came in and he gave up a run, which was credited to Cole. He only pitched 0.1 innings, gave up 2 hits, no strikeouts. He was pulled. Michael King came in shortly after, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 0 Ks. Both of these guys came in after Cole had let G-Man Choi in. Right?
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
much.
Yep, Leakage came first, and then King came in for the rest of the game.
None of them, I don't think, Cole didn't get an earned run for that, though, did he?
No, he didn't. No, it was...
no, he did, because it was 3-1 was the final score.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Right. So yeah, let's talk about Michael King for a second, real quick. He has definitely been on a downward trend. In his last 3 appearances, 19 batters faced, allowed 8 hits, 6 runs, has an ERA of 16.2.
Yikes.
It's updated since then, but it hasn't gotten much better. It's gotten a little better, but Michael King, after his dominance, he's looked pretty rocky here.
Yeah, his clue ball doesn't look the same as it once was. That's the big pitch that he developed last year, and he just hasn't had a good amount of control with it. I mean, he's had, in the past, great control with it. These last 3 games, they've just been hitting the dirt constantly, even sometimes hitting pitchers with it, or not pitchers, hitting hitters with it as well.
Yeah.
So I just think maybe he just needs to go back to basics, rely on his fastball a little bit more, and then when it's a 1-2, 2-2 count, use that clue ball to mix in a little bit.
100%. Yeah, it's been a shame to see Michael King go down like that, especially with, losing Chapman, losing Loaizaga, and losing Chad Green, 3 of our, bullpen staples.
Pretty much, yeah.
And Ludic is going to be Ludic. He's not great, but he can get you out here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Michael King was a huge piece, and the fact that he's starting to diminish is really hurting right now.
Mm-hmm.
The saving grace, honestly, we can talk more about this later, but if our starting rotation was not this good, I think we're talking about a different season.
No, definitely.
Because the state of our bullpen right now is not great at all.
No, the only highlights of our bullpen are Holmes and...
I'd say Clark Schmidt.
Clark Schmidt. Oh, definitely Clark Schmidt. Clark Schmidt, Holmes. On a good day, maybe Ludic if he, grounds out a couple guys. On a good day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But besides that, though, we're kind of relying on guys like Ariaco, who just got called up, and he was just sent back down. Brandon McKay, who we will talk about later, because it's interesting to talk about him.
David McKay.
Or David McKay, my bad, yeah. But, we're just kind of relying on guys that are from Scranton, bring them up, and then once guys are coming back, we send them back down. That's just kind of how it's been. I'm more opposed of bringing back J.P. Sears. He looked pretty darn good. I don't know if you saw that game as well.
Yeah,
I say, if Chad Green is down and if J.P. Sears is still dominant in Scranton, I say you bring him up for the rest of the season.
I think so too. Especially with how good he's been, with the way our starting rotation looks right now, Sears really isn't going to have a starting rotation spot.
No. Yeah.
In this lineup, as long as we stay healthy, that's the biggest thing.
They're knocking the wood.
Yeah, the only wood that's in this corner, I had to. Where I guess I could have reached.
Or you could have done this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have reached over you over there, but
yeah, you know.
No,
watch me.
The rotation has just been so dominant, and unfortunately, Sears is a starting pitcher, but could really use him in the bullpen if he's going to pitch like that. So we'll see as this progresses down the road. We'll see how the state of the bullpen looks here in a couple weeks, because guys should be coming back very, very soon.
Yeah.
So hitting for this game, this was Game 3 against Tampa Bay that we were talking about. DJ LeMahieu had a double to center field on an 0-2 count. Judge followed up with a single, which sent DJ to third, and then Rizzo hit a sac fly. This was all in the first inning. And then after the first inning, that was our only run of the game. After the first inning, we struck out 10 times, didn't draw a single walk. Nice. Gallo had a single. Nice.
Nice.
Gallo gets a single in the fourth, but got followed up with a DJ ground out afterwards. And we didn't get a hit until the 8th inning with an IKF single. For the Rays, a little bit of a different story. Francisco Mejia went 2 for 3 with a single and a double. Randy Arozarena had an RBI single. Yandy Diaz had an RBI single. And Manuel Margot, who continues to rake. He's been a huge piece of the Tampa Bay Rays lineup lately. He also had an RBI single. So that was pretty much it for Game 3. We lost 3-1. Just haven't gotten the bats going the past couple games here in this series.
Yeah.
Cole looked good. Bullpen, not so much.
Yeah, like you said earlier, it was a very weird game for Cole. He looked like the Cole that we expect him to be. Definitely a guy that you want to have double Ks on next to his name. Just exceeded his pitch amount. If you know Boone and Matt Blake's philosophy, they don't like guys that go over 100 pitches, especially going into the 6th inning. So I guess my own kind of take on it is, why not just bring in Schmidt instead? I feel like that could have limit the bleeding damage, but then again, our hitting was so cold. I don't think Schmidt's performance would have mattered either way.
I really don't think so either. Again, I don't really normally. I feel like everyone's gonna say something similar to this, but I'm gonna say it because it does matter in this scenario. That call changed the game.
It did.
I think we were looking decent up until that point. And I think when the team started to see Cole get pissed, everyone else got pissed.
Yeah.
And then emotion took over.
Right.
And the Rays capitalized. They ran away with it. They weren't dominant by any stretch.
No.
I didn't think. Cole looked absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he was putting balls pretty much wherever he wanted to.
Pretty much, yeah.
The command with the fastball was absolutely absurd, especially on that missed call. Right on the corner, strike 3 should have been. He started to walk away, and then they went in closer on his face. He's like, nope, missed that one.
Yeah, he was definitely painting like Bob Ross that day with the corners. And just, it's a shame because a performance like that gets kind of pissed away with a loss. And you hate seeing that because a guy like Montgomery, he's experienced that before. Happened with Cole as well. You like not to see that, but unfortunately the bats, it's a very common trend with the Yankees. When they're cold, it's a cold day for the Yankees, especially if they only had their run production for one inning, and for the rest of the game, it was just like nothing showed up for them.
I mean, when you talk about like our order at that point in the game, we pretty much had our normal lineup, but losing a guy like Giancarlo Stanton completely changed the game. Even if Giancarlo has a bad game, it opens up things for the rest of the lineup. I think Matt Carpenter has done a phenomenal job coming in and playing. He's been really good. I hope he continues to be a staple in the lineup. I really do.
Yeah.
But, I mean, guys like, Hicks and Gallo, unfortunately. I'm, like, a huge Gallo fan. I want to see him do well. I'm sure you are.
Oh, yeah. I love his arm, and I love his fielding ability,
The problem with Gallo, I feel like a lot of people are missing. Like, yes, he does strike out a lot, but he's always struck out a lot. He's not striking out, like, more than he has in the past.
Yeah. Last year, he led the league in strikeout percentage, so...
He's doing better than last year in that regard.
He is.
The problem is Gallo hits into the shift a lot. He hits a lot of hard hit balls right to the shift, which, I mean, is his swing. He's a pull hitter. He's a true pull hitter. That's what his swing is.
Mm-hmm.
But he's making great contact with the ball.
Definitely.
I don't think his batting average speaks to what he should be doing if the shift was banned this season.
Exactly, yeah. It doesn't really reflect on how well the hitter he actually is. There have been times where he's hit like a screamer down to like center field, and
right at someone.
Right at someone. That and like there would be a hit where if you look at the metrics, it'd be like 99% chance it'd be a hit, and then got really unlucky in that one circumstance where it was an out. So
it's really unfortunate, but I mean, analysts today are king, and when teams recognize that, they can position themselves in the field to be exactly where they need to be. I mean, down to the foot. We're talking about in terms of defensive positioning. Like, people have every single cube of grass laid out before the game. Like, okay, for this guy, you're going to stand right here.
Yes.
It's like that scene from like Longest Yard with the great Khali where he's like, you get your ass right here.
Yeah.
That's what it is in terms of defensive position.
And you have to wonder, too, because the shift is going to be banned next year. And you would have to wonder, like, how well Gallo would be. And that you could say this with anybody else, too, that are, diehard pole hitters. Ohtani, yeah. And look at him right now. He's batting 240, which for Ohtani, he was batting, 280 last year?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to find out how, where you're going to hit. And, unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, but, for the opposing team, it kind of sucks that the band's going to be on the shift. I said that backwards. The shift will be banned next year because it's a competitive advantage. But I think it's kind of necessary because it can be a little outrageous sometimes where the shortstop is literally on the second base path. I think that's kind of unfair. But as for the most part, I mean, with guys like Gallo, it takes a tremendous toll on their their stat line.
I do think I agree with you. I think also it has helped some hitters, like on our team specifically Judge and Stanton.
Mm-hmm.
Guys that, have been known in the past for pull, power hitters, just swing as hard as you can, trying to hit it to left field, trying to hit a bomb.
Yes.
You see both of those guys, even with shifts on, they're going to opposite field.
Mm-hmm.
They're realizing that they just need to make solid contact with the ball, and they're able to drive it to opposite field on a 50% swing for them because they're so big.
Oh, yeah.
But it's helped both of them evolve into better hitters. I think genuinely, this season, Giancarlo is a completely different hitter.
Oh, he's probably the most efficient he's ever been as a hitter.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, his average is at 285 right now, I think.
And for Giancarlo, that's like unheard of.
Which is absolutely insane. He was hitting over 300 before he got hurt, but he was nursing that injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, let's see here. Recording's at 20 minutes so far. We got to move on to game number 4.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to this. So game number 4, this was on May 29th. Tampa Bay won 4-2, tied the series. I like a split against Tampa Bay. That's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but the way that the last 2 games went, you would want the win. So, I mean, especially if it's against your rivals, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Luis Savarino started the game for us. He went 6.1 innings, gave up 2 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. I don't think the runs were truly representative of the way that Savarino was pitching.
Yeah, especially Mariaco. We'll get to him later, though.
Yeah. But the Rays actually made Savarino change his glove because they suspected foreign substance use.
Yeah.
And he still ended up pitching a pretty good game after that point.
Mm-hmm.
He gave up 2 solo shots to G-Man Choi, and then Taylor Walls in the 5th. That was the first game this season that Savarino gave up multiple home runs.
Yeah.
But he changed up his approach on the mound after giving up the G-Man Choi homer in the 2nd. The glove was tucked more into his hip.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little change like that can take over.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting to see that. And, like, even the commentators, like Michael
sorry.
Kay and who was the other guy? Not Walker. Paul O'Neill. He acknowledged that as well. I was like, yeah, if you notice, like, I think it was because of the glove. Because you know how, like, his glove is usually, like, gray and all that?
Yeah.
It's more of, like, a tan color. It was the Rollins, too. And he had it where it's usually how he does it with his windup is that he has it right here, like on the stomach. He had it more like this and more tucked in. I don't know why it helped, but I don't know if he was tipping pitches. I don't think he was tipping pitches because he still had a really good game.
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of which, like throughout the whole, like his whole appearance, the only 2 hits he gave up were those home runs. Otherwise, if he didn't give up those home runs, 1, 2, 3 innings for him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, another dominant starting pitching performance ruined by some unorthodox coincidence.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But then we had to face Shane McClanahan. He went 6 deep, gave up 7 hits, though, which was pretty solid for us.
Mm-hmm.
He gave up 1 earned run, no walks. He had 7 strikeouts. For the Yankees, Ron Marinaccio, he pitched .2 innings, no hits, no runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. 62.5% of his pitches were balls in this outing, having a very hard time with control. He let his slider get away from him and hit Zunino to walk in a run. That was certainly not ideal with the bases loaded.
No.
Clark Schmidt came in, absolutely shut things down, pitched an inning, didn't give up nothing on the stat line. It was one of the few highlights the Yankees actually did have
unfortunately.
in this game. For the Rays bullpen, Jason Adams came in. He got the hold, 2 strikeouts, no hits, no walks. Colin Posh, no strikeouts, 1 earned run, 2 hits. And then J.B. Fireeisen got the save, 1 inning, no strikeouts, no hits, no walks. For the Yankees, hitting-wise, Gleyber Torres has been an absolute monster these past couple weeks here.
Yeah.
He went 3 for 4, 2 singles, and homered against McClanahan in the second. I have a hard time saying...
McClanahan?
Shane McClanahan.
Yeah.
So Torres, at this point in the year, had matched his 2021 total homers with 9, which is absolutely huge for him. We're just barely in June. This happened in May, so that's absolutely crazy that he's already tied that.
Yeah.
We might be looking at a 30-40 home run season for Torres if he keeps up this pace, which...
He's definitely looking like his 2018-2019 self, so that's great to see. I mean, not only him, too, but Andujar, we'll get to him pretty soon.
Yeah.
But it looks like a lot of these guys are getting back in their strides like they used to.
Yeah. I think that... let's save this conversation for later. I want to burn through these games first, because we could be here forever.
I know.
So then Aaron Judge in the game, he had a home run off of Posh in the 8th inning on a 1-0 count. He leads the major league in homers with 18 home runs. He has 19 now.
He has 19
to this point.
Yep.
We'll get there. Andujar went 2 for 4 in the game. Joey Gallo and Aaron Hicks cold once again, no hits, and both of them struck out. For Tampa Bay, G-Man Choi 1 for 3 with a home run. Taylor Wells 1 for 2 with a home run. They drew 4 walks, 2 hits, and still got the win in the game. That was the Rays. Pretty frustrating as a Yankees fan. What would you say?
No, definitely. I mean, the fact that like a lot of our guys on that day were on their point with their bats. I mean, outside of Gallen and Hicks, we had a couple of walks and all that. But besides that, though, I mean, pretty frustrating game. That's the game where it's like we should have won that one, and we could have left St. Petersburg with a win in our series. And obviously we'll talk about the next series, but kind of frustrating to see, especially if it's against your rival. And with Sevy, it was a really weird game with him. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, yeah, he had a great game, but a lot of things happened during that game. If you didn't watch the game, you wouldn't know, what happened. But, with the Rays bench and then him, adjusting his approach on the mound. I mean, pretty weird game nonetheless, but unfortunately, just another game where a dominant starting pitching performance got kind of mishandled by the bullpen, and you would have to wonder too, even if Schmidt came in, would you bring Schmidt in then Maracchio instead, and would Schmidt get the hold?
Yeah, it's really tough to say, especially with the state of our bullpen. It's got to be tough for Blake and Boone to kind of look at the bullpen with the way it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, losing 3 guys like Chapman, and I know I already talked about it, but this is the state of the thing that we're in,
Yeah.
Chapman, Green, and Loizaga, 3 guys that have been a staple the past few years.
Right.
Losing them is going to be a huge hit. So, in terms of bringing guys in out of the bullpen, you really got to be strategic, especially right now.
Yes.
With guys hurt, you can't pitch guys more than 2 days in a row. You got to take that into account. If a guy comes in and has a bad outing, you got to make sure that you have someone that can come in, and clean things up. So it's
definitely.
Unfortunately, got to play to the matchups at that point, and in this game, the Rays capitalized on that.
The only thing I can take away from it is, does Schmidt deserve a bigger role? And hopefully Boone and Blake realize, and they do realize, the stats are there to show that Schmidt has made it tremendously from 2021 to 2022. I think he really does deserve it. He should be the 7th inning guy, or the guy that comes in after a big hold.
Come on. Who is this guy?
From my phone. Anyways, but no. I just think Schmidt deserves a bigger role in my own opinion. I think he's ready for it.
I agree.
He's your first rounder from 2016. I think he deserves that sort of rep. He should be the guy that comes in after Cole or Savarino, Montgomery, who have 2 runners on. They have great performance. You put Schmidt in, and then have him limit the bleeding damage and get the hold.
I agree, and I never really looked at Schmidt like that before. I always saw him as more of a long relief guy out of the bullpen, or even a starter, because that's what he is. He is a starting pitcher by nature. I guess a lot of bullpen guys are a starter at some point in their early careers, but no, Schmidt, to have him out of the bullpen, he's really adapted to this new role of coming in for an inning, and
Definitely.
he's more than succeeding at it. He's got a sub-1 ERA up to this point in the year.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely phenomenal for him.
0.6 too.
0.6, yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Getting all the negativity out of the way, the first 3 games, that is the first half of the video. We now have the great news, which is a sweep against the Angels, Game 1. This was on Monday.
I wish I had a broom.
Sweep.
Sweep.
So against the Angels, Jordan Montgomery versus Noah Syndergaard. This game was an absolute electric one to watch.
It was.
Jordan Montgomery went 7 deep. Another long start for our Yankee rotation, which is amazing. But in this game, finally, Jordan Montgomery gets some run support.
Gumby.
We will talk about that in a second. 7 innings deep, he did get the win. 4 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Another great outing for Jordan Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a stud, man. He goes out, does his job. That's it. He's not a flashy guy. He's not going to get you 10 strikeouts, but he's going to go out there and get the job done. He's Andy Pettitte 2.0. I think he genuinely can, because Pettitte didn't really strike out a lot of guys either.
No, yeah, and he had devastating stuff as well. I think the thing with Munt is that he's not really talked a lot. I mean, out of all the
Well, because he's not flashy.
Yeah, I know he's not flashy, and I think the stats don't favor him as well. Just as regards like win losses, like when the casual fan when they see a starting pitcher, they see wins losses first, and they go, oh well, he's 1 for 1, so he can't be that good. No, it's just because the days that Monk pitches are the days that the Yankees hitting doesn't come up for him.
Yeah.
Not in this case because they did more. They exceeded. They were really good. What was the score?
Do we have the final score of this game up?
Nope, we don't.
I want to say it was
6-1. It was 6-1.
6-1 was the final score.
Yeah.
Noah Syndergaard was the starting pitcher for the Angels. He got the loss. 2.1 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned, 1 walk, 0 strikeouts. Hey, against Noah Syndergaard, he's been rocky, but that's a great starting pitcher in this league.
Yeah.
He's got crazy stuff, and for us to rock someone like that, it's a really good sign for our offense that's been cold the past few games.
Definitely.
So let's talk about the relief pitching. For the Yankees, Miguel Castro came in for an inning, gave up 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks. He did strike someone out.
Nice.
David McKay, his Yankee debut, gave up 1 hit, 2 walks, but he pitched an inning, didn't give up any runs. And Andrew, I'm going to fire over to you because this is your story. But who is David McKay?
David McKay is a player that the Yankees got from the Rays right before the season started. So this would happen on, April 17th, I think?
5th.
The 5th. Before the season start, the Yankees called the Rays, hey, we like your guy. Can you give him to us? Yeah, sure. All right, what are you willing to give up? Well, it's not going to be Aaron Hicks because he's too expensive of a contract, and he sucks at what he's doing right now, unfortunately. Sorry, Hicks. This is kind of the truth. But unfortunately, the Rays were pretty desperate for money, and because it's the Rays and they live in the most, I want to say not less profitable place in all major sports, one of them at least.
They're penny pitchers over there in Tampa.
Very penny pitchers. The vending machines must be pretty tight on them as well.
They're probably helping Tampa Bay Buccaneers pay Tom Brady. That's what they're doing.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. All the funding at Tampa Bay goes to the Buccaneers immediately. Well, so the Yankees go, all right, what do you want from him? How about $1? Not even kidding you. They did the trade for $1.
$1 for David McKay straight up. And he comes in, pitches a pretty solid inning like that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it.
Hey, I'll take it. For him, he must be feeling like, wow, I got really traded for $1. And that must light a fume for him because he had a pretty solid performance. And I hope that, is he a staple for this bullpen? Probably not. But at the time being, for what he's serving right now, I know it's just one game, but for someone that came in from Scranton, sounds like a common theme this season. He did a really phenomenal job, in my opinion. He had his stuff pretty good. He throws a fastball slider changeup combo, pretty common repertoire in for any pitcher really, but pretty good slider nonetheless. And I think how long is he gonna be up here? Well, we're gonna find out once Elizana and Chapman come back. But I think he's a serviceable role right now. Guy, you like I said before, filling the spot until those guys come back.
Time and time again, the Yankees have an injury or something happen, call someone up, and they do just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
Time and time again.
Yep. J.P. Sears, Mariacco in his first game.
Barnacchio, Schmidt. King didn't start off in Scranton.
Nope.
I'm trying to think. Andujar comes up, and he's hitting well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Who else, bullpen-wise, has come up?
I think those are it, actually. I want to say there was another guy, too. I can't think of his name. But it's been hitting.
Yeah.
It's been hitting. It's been a combination of things, hitting and pitching. Andujar he did start off in Scranton, got called up.
Yep.
Look where he's at right now. Is he back to his 2019 form? Not quite there. I mean,
I think he is.
Slugging-wise, he isn't. The stats kind of show that he's hitting, I want to say, below the average of slugging. But hitting-wise, he's back, pretty much back to what he was. But
we want him, why?
Because he gets on base.
Because he gets on base.
Yep.
Let's move to the Angels bullpen. So Kenny Rosenberg came in for relief against Syndergaard, or for Syndergaard, rather. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 earned runs. So the final score of this game was 9-1. instead of 6-1, which we had earlier.
Yeah.
2 walks, 5 strikeouts to Rosenberg, and then Archie Bradley came in, closed things down for the Angels pitching. 0.2 innings, 1 hit, nothing else.
Which we're going to get to him, too, pretty soon.
We are going to get to him pretty soon.
Yeah.
For the Yankees, hitting-wise, Jose Trevino. Hooray, Jose! Gotta love that from John Sterling. 3 for 4, 2 singles, and he homered in the 8th inning off of Rosenberg. How can you not love Jose Trevino? He's probably the most likable guy on the whole team. As a fan of baseball, outside of Yankees fans, how can you hate Jose Trevino? He's just such a lovable guy.
He really is, yeah. Did you saw that he went down to John Boy Media Studios?
I did. He showed up to John Boy Media Studios just to see how things were going.
Yeah.
They just took some pictures together, shot some hockey shots
in
the hallway, I think.
Yeah, casually walking in the Bronx, go, you know what? I feel like going down the
Whoa!
Whoa, what?
Breaking news on the podcast.
What?
The Phillies have fired Joe Girardi.
No
Live
way. Oh my
on the pod.
God, dude.
Wow.
What?
Losing 12 times the last 15 games. Worst start since 2017. The Phillies have said Girardi.
Damn.
Wow. Crazy news.
I mean, when you're losing 12 out of 15 with that roster, with Schwarber and all those guys, I mean,
Their defense is so bad, bro.
it's so bad.
I mean, what do they expect in free agency? You got Schwarber and Castellanos.
Yeah.
And you expect defense out of those
Yeah,
guys?
I
What the
know.
hell are we doing?
I know. Yeah, I know. I mean, a lot of these teams don't give a crap about, the defensive side.
They're like, home run.
home run. Defense, don't worry about
Speaking
it.
of home runs by Castellanos, recently
Yeah.
they were talking about Memorial Day, and he does it again. He hits another home run at the worst possible time. If I was commentating a game and he was on the Yankees, 100%, I would just talk about bad things every single time he was up to the plate. Just home run after home run. Anyways, we got to move on.
Wow.
Another plus with Jose, he had an incredible pickoff play in the top of the second. He picked off Duffy, which was pretty crazy over at first.
That wasn't amazing.
Dude, I couldn't believe, the snap throw, it was just beautiful.
It was on his
Defensively.
knees, too, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like Yadier Molina crap.
Literally, I mean, Jose Trevino is proving himself as one of honestly, the best catchers in the league right now.
I know.
The position's kind of rough right now in terms of looking at, Yadi's retiring after this year.
I know.
You got Salvador Perez, who, he's a good bat. JT Realmuto is kind of like an all-around guy, but,
Yeah.
I mean, what other catchers are in this league?
Sean Murphy, William Contreras.
But, these are all kind of role... I'm talking superstar. You look at all-star catchers, it's probably going to be Realmuto and Perez.
Buster left last year. He
Yeah.
retired.
Buster's done.
At his prime, mind you. He literally just had an MVP candidate
Yep.
season. But yeah, Trevino, he's been the best surprise, not only just for the Yankees, but for the entire league.
The catching position.
Yeah, just for the catcher's position in general. I mean, he's hitting walk-offs in Bronx, and he's having 3 for 4 nights.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely one of our game of the year candidates right there is the Trevino
100%.
walk-off. Yeah, speaking of game of the year candidates, we'll get to that pretty soon. I really want to talk about that game.
We're almost there. We got to
Yeah.
run through this.
Yeah, no.
So, Matty Carpenter, I call him Ron Mattingly.
Luigi.
Yeah, that mustache is amazing.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. He went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. He had a homer in the first off Syndergaard. He had another home run in the first inning. And a later game, we'll talk about that in a sec. DJ LeMahieu went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. He's starting to turn things back on.
Yeah.
He's got a long way to go, though, because he started off very, very cold.
Yeah.
Gleyber Torres went 2 for 4 with a double. He continues to rake. Joey Gallo went 2 for 3 with a double. Everyone seemed to hit except for Aaron Judge. He was
That's
the
so
only
weird.
Yankee to not get a hit in that game. But he did have a home run robbery against Shohei Ohtani. The defense in this game was
That is
probably
best.
the best. Just the whole team. The defense was incredible because
Oh, yeah.
Gallo had that crazy catch in foul territory. He almost crashed into the netting over there.
Yeah,
almost crashed into Rizzo.
Rizzo, yeah.
And then Judge, the next batter comes up and he robs Ohtani of a home run.
That inning was crazy, dude.
And then an inning later, Jose Trevino had that snap pickoff over at first. Just what a...
That must be the best inning that the Yankees have played in a long
Yeah.
time. Like defensively and
hitting wise
and pitching, it's like, wow, that's like the perfect inning you want to see from a team.
That inning gave me playoff baseball vibes.
Oh yeah.
Like it just felt like just the electric moments from that inning were just incredible. I had the pleasure of watching that.
Me too.
I absolutely loved it.
Speaking of playoff environment, we're gonna get to that game 3. Oh dude, that game, I really.
I'll run through this. I know you want to talk about it. We're almost there.
The excitement is can't contain it.
We go to LA's hitting in that game. Jared Walsh went 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. Luis Rengifo, I think Renifo.
Yeah.
He had the only run for the Angels with a solo shot off of Gumby. And then Shohei Ohtani went 1 for 4 with a double. He also struck out, and Mike Trout put up a donut. More on that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have too much else to say about that first game other than it was incredible. One of our best games played all season long, I'd have to say.
Team effort wise, everyone contributed. Even Judge contributed. Even if it wasn't a hit, it was a robbery.
That home run robbery was huge in terms of like momentum. It was the top of the first inning. I mean, that home run happens. Whole state of the game could be different.
Oh, definitely. One swing of the bat makes a whole difference to the game.
So game 2, this was the double header because the game on Tuesday got rained out. So we had a double header on Lou Gehrig Day, which was really cool. So the first game, Yankees ended up winning 6-1. Nestor Cortez on the bump, time and time again. This guy comes in and proves all the haters wrong.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Nasty Nestor, baby.
Nasty Nestor, baby.
Nestor. Let's go.
God, I love it. Time and time again, comes in and proves that he's one of the best pitchers in the league, if not the best. He's having a Cy Young candidacy year.
Oh, without a doubt.
He's now 5-1 on the season after winning this game. 7 innings, 5 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts. ERA is down to a 1.5 on the season, and he's like top 5 in innings pitched too. So, I mean, what else do you want to say about Nestor Cortez? Like,
he's nasty.
It seems surreal that he's the best pitcher in the league because he doesn't fit that mold that we're talking about. But realistically, he could win a Cy Young, and I'm all for it.
Oh, without a doubt.
If he wins a Cy Young, I will also buy a jersey.
Probably not as expensive as this one, probably. Maybe?
I might do. If he wins a Cy Young, I mean, that would be...
Yeah.
But, honestly, Nestor pitched phenomenal as always. But the more, I guess, amusing story is Shohei Ohtani. Comes out, gets the loss. He's now 3-4 on the season. Only went 3 innings, 8 hits, 1 walk, just 2 strikeouts, and gave up 4 earned runs. The Yankees were tattooing him. The reigning MVP is now hitting .399. He has a .399 ERA and has a .244 batting average. If those were flipped, he'd be MVP again.
Yeah.
But it was later found out that Ohtani was tipping his pitches. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that, yeah.
But it allowed the Yankees to catch on. We'll get to that in a sec. Clark Schmidt, out of relief, just .2 innings. Gave up 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Just 1 run, though. Got out of it. Still has a 1.23 ERA, which is pretty solid.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Wandy Peralta came in for .1 innings after Clark Schmidt to get the final out. And then we had like a 3-hour rain delay, and then he comes in and saves the top of the 9th without giving up a hit. I don't think he walked. No, he did. He walked 1 guy in the top of the 9th, but he did strike out 2, which is cool.
I was surprised they finished off that game. I thought they were just going to...
You should have just called it.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point?
It's 6-1.
Yeah. You're going to expect some miracle to happen,
yeah.
Especially how the Angels have been hitting as of lately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen crazier things in baseball, like the Mets and Giants series, but I don't know about that, man. Especially if you just came off of a rain delay. And another rain delay on top of that, you know?
I know. They should have just called it so they could get that second game in as fast as they could, but
yeah,
they ended up getting it in anyway, so it wasn't terrible in the end. But for the Angels, Jose Quijada, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. And then the 25-year-old Jonathan Diaz came in for 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 strikeouts. For the hitting, Angels didn't really have a whole lot, but the Yankees had 13 hits in the game, 4 solo shots, including Matty Ice. Matt Carpenter, leading off the game, crushed a home run off of Ohtani, crushed it. I think it was second deck, right field, absolutely destroyed it, pimped it. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. Gleyber Torres, he had a double and a home run. He went 2 for 4. Gleyber's heating up, man. Continues to break in these games down the stretch. He's been part of our only offense, him and Judge, who also went 2 for 4 with a home run. LeMay, who had a solo shot, he was the 4th solo shot there. He hit that in the 5th. I'm not convinced, but Aaron Hicks went 3 for 4 in the game, scored 2 of our 6 runs. I'm not convinced. It's a start. Give me 2 or 3 more of those, and we'll start talking.
I'll say 5 or 6.
Yeah, he's got some ground to make up.
Yeah,
at least get that OBP up, man. That's all I care about.
The defense. That's literally the reason why they signed him that contract.
Yes. Yeah. For the Angels, Taylor Ward went 1 for 4 with a run scored. He scored their lone run. Luis Renifo, he went 1 for 4. He had that RBI single to bring him in. But that is game 1. We're gonna get to game 2. Unless you have something to say about game 1. Personally, I don't. Another great Cortez outing and some solo shots. I mean, getting to Ohtani was absolutely huge, though.
And this is the second game that Ohtani has pitched in the Bronx. The first appearance, same thing, pretty much. He had a really rough outing. They were figuring him out.
He was not like New York.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah, that's his weak ground.
There's only one Babe Ruth that's allowed to ever play in New York. Well, at least.
Yeah, exactly. They kept bringing that up too. Like, there's no way to describe it because he is the next Babe Ruth, but is he as good as Babe Ruth? We'll find out.
Not in New York.
Not in New York yet. Not yet. Maybe not never. Who knows? But I saw that Judge homer, man, like on top of the strike zone, and it was a fastball. Dude, it was a screamer.
Oh yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah.
That was a screamer, man. Like right when it left his bat, gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got one more game to get through, guys. We're at 48 minutes on the recording.
And it's the best game, too.
It's the best game. I'm excited to talk about. This happened last night. Yankees ended up winning 2-1. It was a 0-0 score going into the 8th inning, so it was a snooze fest until that point. Jameson, Tyone.
J-Mo.
Taking my shots at J-Mo. Another back-to-back 8 innings pitched outings.
7 perfect innings.
7 perfect innings. Had it going into the 8th inning. Gave up a single shortly after. Gave up an RBI single. But in the game, those were the only 2 hits.
Yeah.
No walks. 5 strikeouts. He had an amazing game. Reed Detmers started for Los Angeles. 4.1 innings, 5 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, no earned. And then in relief, the Angels pitched a lot of guys. The Yankees only pitched 1 because we had that dominant inning or outing from Jameson Tyone.
Yeah.
Jimmy Herget, Aaron Loop, Ryan Tepera, Oliver Ortega, and Archie Bradley. Herget through Tepera, they pitched great, struck out 4, but it was Ortega who got rocked. Just 0.1 inning, walked 2 batters, allowed a hit. He's responsible for the 2 earned runs. Archie Bradley had the blown save, though. He gave up a hit, which we will talk about in a second.
I just want to bring up one thing.
Yes.
Jimmy Herget, look out for this dude. This dude has I think in my opinion, the nastiest curveball in the league.
Really?
You ever seen his curveball?
I wasn't able to watch the game yesterday.
It floats, dives. It's like it has a mind of its own. It is. They call him the human glitch for a reason. It's
really?
Yeah, dude, this guy is legit. If you ever get a chance to watch the Angels and Herget's on the mound, watch out for him.
I will definitely check that out.
He is insane, dude. I just wanted to bring that up.
We gotta get this. Actually, we gotta get this recording in soon because my laptop's about to die.
All right. Okay.
So Clay Holmes came in. He saved the game, time and time again. He actually started off the inning with 2 outs, a strikeout, and a ground out. But he proceeded to walk and hit 2 batters. It's a little concerning, but then he closed it anyway, so it's fine. It's fine.
It's okay.
But hitting-wise, uneventful. LA just the 2 hits. For the Yankees, Marwin Gonzalez came in 2 for 4 with a double. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa went 2 for 3, scored the go-ahead run. Miguel Andujar went 1 for 3 with a double. He scored the tying run. And Anthony Rizzo comes in, pinch hit for Kyle Higashioka in the 8th with 2 outs and the bases juice after Gallo had just struck out with the bases juice. And he punched a single up the middle on a 1-2 count against Archie Bradley to give us the lead going into the 9th, and then it was Clay Holmes from there.
The building blew up when that happened.
The building was absolutely insane when that happened.
Yeah.
I was able to watch the walk-off.
Yeah.
Just, wow.
Those are the most insane 7 innings I've watched in a while.
You love to see it.
Yeah.
So I think this Angel series was great. It was a great.
The best series we had.
It was the best. Honestly, I would agree with you. It's the best series we've had all year.
Yeah.
I have some keys to the series here. I don't know if you'll agree with it. You probably will. Starting pitching was fantastic. You got 7+ innings from Monty, Cortez, and Tyone, especially with the rocked bullpen the way that it's been.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing.
Definitely.
Monty and Tyone only gave up 1 run apiece. Cortez obviously pitched the shutout when he was there. And the bats capitalized when they needed to.
Mm-hmm.
We got big hits at big spots. We hit home runs when we needed to hit home runs.
Definitely.
Rizzo had that walk-off. Did what we needed to do. But the biggest thing, Ohtani and Trout were absolutely neutralized in the series.
Yep.
Their 2 best players. Ohtani rocked in his start. In the series, just 2 for 12 with a walk and 4 strikeouts. And Trout went 0 for 10.
Yikes.
0 for 10 for Mike Trout in a 3-game series. I'll take that all day long.
You kidding me? Yeah. One of the best players to ever live. I'll take it.
I mean, that's how you win a series right there. You shut a guy like that down.
And Ohtani. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
The Angels have now lost 8 straight games thanks to the Yanks.
Yes.
But the Yankees, despite being bombarded with injuries, have been dominant all season long. 4-2 over this breakdown video. 4-2 in the last 2 series, Andrew. Do you have any final thoughts? It was a really fun.
Very fun.
Series, yeah.
It was a very fun series to watch, especially on the 9th inning with Clay Holmes. He did walk Ohtani, and he had his stuff, man. That was a great at bat between him and Ohtani. I don't know if you saw that, but it was just like a nail biter. Ohtani, he drew a walk, good on his part, but the Trout at bat, I don't know if you saw that the pitch broke. It was 19 inches of break. It hit Trout. But
it was just that sinker was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
It should not have hit him, but it just broke too much.
It broke way too much.
I don't think I've ever seen a hit by a pitch quite like that before.
No, it's pretty darn crazy, and it's just like, oh, that must.
Even Trout was surprised.
Yeah, right when he went to the first base, he pulled up his stick like that. Dude, there was like a massive
99, bro.
Yeah, I was like, took it like a champ, but man, that was such Holmes gave us a scare, but you put him in that spot for a reason. You got the save, and you sweep the Angels.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we have to go because I got 6% on the laptop. But, guys, thank you. We are flying by the seat of our pants over here. We got more videos coming out today. But thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the second series breakdown for us, or what do we call this? Week in Review. This is Week in Review 2. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like down below. Comment any thoughts or comments or questions that you might have. We'll definitely answer them as soon as we can. Hope you guys enjoyed. And peace.
See you guys.